Balance isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about making faithful choices in impossible moments. And as moms, we face those moments every single day. So today, let's talk about what real balance looks like when you're trying to honor God in the middle of mom life chaos. Because I think we've been getting it all wrong. Hey friend, welcome back to Faith Mom, and I'm Denise. So, what does balance actually mean from a faith perspective? That's what we are going to dive into today. And I'm taking us through some women in the Bible who had to make impossible choices too. Because if they could navigate it, then we can too. Now let's start. Let's start with the most famous balance story in the Bible, Mary and Martha. You know this one, right? Jesus comes to their house in Luke 10, and the two sisters respond completely differently. Now, Martha immediately goes into hostess mode. She's cooking, cleaning, setting the table, making sure everything is perfect. She's doing all the things. And to be honest, I am Martha. When people come over, I'm running around making sure everyone has what they need. The house looks decent, the food is ready. I'm in my head about all the tasks. But Mary sits at Jesus' feet and just listens. She's not worried about the meal or the mess or the to-do list. She's just present, fully present. And Martha gets frustrated. In fact, in Luke chapter 10, verse 40 says, "But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, 'Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me.'" I feel that so deeply. Don't you care that I'm doing everything? Don't you see how hard I'm working? Tell her to help me. But here's what Jesus says in Luke 10, from verse 41 to 42. "Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, 'You are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her.'" Mary has chosen what is better, not what's easier, not what's more productive, but what's better. Here's what this teaches us about balance. Sometimes the most faithful choice is to stop doing and just be, to sit down in the middle of the chaos and be present with the people in front of you. I struggle with this constantly. Bray will ask me to play with her, and I'm thinking about the laundry, some stuff on my computer, the dinner that needs cooking, and I'm physically there but mentally everywhere else. And I'm missing the one thing that's needed: presence. Now, last week, I was on an online course while Bray was trying to show me something she was doing. And she literally put her little hand on my face and turned it toward her. And in that moment, I heard it. Mary has chosen what is better. So I put the phone down. The emails could, wait. The laundry could wait. This moment with my daughter, this was what mattered. Balance isn't about doing everything. It's about choosing what's better in each moment. And most of the time, what's better is being fully present with whoever is right in front of you. Now, let's talk about Hannah, because her story is about making a choice that breaks your heart but honors God. Hannah was barren. She wanted a child desperately. And First Samuel 1 tells us she prayed with, such anguish that the priest Eli thought she was drunk. She was pouring out her soul to God, begging for a child. And she made a vow In 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 11 says, "And she made a vow saying, Lord Almighty, if you will only look on your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life. If you give me a son, I'll give him back to you." And God answered. She had Samuel. And for this first few years, she got to keep him, nurse him, raise him. But when he was weaned, probably around 3 years old, she kept her vow. She took him to the temple and left him there to serve God under Eli the priest. Can you imagine finally getting the child you prayed for, raising him for just a few years, and then having to let him go, choosing to give him back to God, even though it would break your heart? In 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 28 says, "So now I give him to the Lord. For his whole life he will be given over to the Lord." Here's what Hannah teaches us about balance. Sometimes the faithful choice is surrender. It's letting go of control. It's trusting God with the very things we love most. For us, as working moms, this looks like surrendering our need to control everything, surrendering our guilt about not being able to do it all, surrendering our children to God's care when we can't be with them. Every morning, when I leave for work, I have to do what Hannah did. I have to say, God, she's yours. I give her to you today. Protect her. Be with her. Fill in the gaps where I can't be there. It's not that I'm abandoning Bray. Hannah didn't abandon Samuel. She just recognized that her child belonged to God first, and she trusted him with what she couldn't control. Balance sometimes means making peace with what you can't do. It means surrendering the impossible expectation of being everything to everyone. It means trusting, everything to God. And that God is in control and he takes care of our children, even when you can't be there all the time. And here's the beautiful part. God blessed Hannah with more children after she surrendered Samuel. In 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 21 says, "And the Lord was gracious to Hannah. She gave birth to 3 sons and 2 daughters." When we surrender to God, he doesn't leave us empty. He fills us in ways we couldn't imagine. That's the promise we can hold on to. Okay. We have to talk about the Proverbs 31 woman because honestly, she used to stress me out. Have you read that passage? She does everything. She's up before dawn. She provides food for her family. She makes, business deals. She plants vineyards. She makes clothing. She helps the poor. She's strong and dignified. She speaks with wisdom. Her children call her blessed. Her husband praises her. And I had read it and think, great one, more impossible standard I can't meet. But then I started reading it differently, not as a checklist of everything I should be doing every single day, but as a picture of a woman who used her gifts fully over a lifetime. Not all at once, but, throughout different seasons. Now look at verse 16. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She's making business decisions. She's working. She's earning money. In verse 20, she opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. She's serving others. In verse 27, she watches over the affairs of her husband and does not eat the bread of idleness. She's managing her home. She's not just a stay-at-home mom. She's not just a working mother or working woman. She's both. She's using all her gifts, her skills, her abilities to serve her family and her community. Here's what the Proverbs 31 woman teaches us about balance. You don't have to choose between using your gifts and being a good mom. You can do both. Not perfectly, not all at the same time, but you can honor God with all of who you are. For so long, I felt guilty about working, about enjoying my job, about building businesses. Like if I was a really good mom, I just want to be home all the time. But that's not what the Bible says. The Proverbs 31 woman worked. She contributed. She used her skills and she was praised for it. In verse 31 says, honor her for all that she had, all her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. Her works, plural, not just her mothering, her works, all of them. Balance isn't choosing between being a mom and being everything else you are. It's integrating all of who God made you to be. It's using your gifts to serve your family and also to serve the world. It's teaching your children that women can be strong, capable, hardworking, faithful, and loving all at the same time. When Bray sees me work, she's not seeing me neglect her. She's seeing a woman using her gifts. And I pray that teaches her she can do the same one day. You don't have to apologize for who God made you to be. You don't have to shrink yourself to fit someone else's idea of what a good mom looks like. You can be fully you and fully present for your family. And that's balance. So let's get practical because biblical examples are beautiful. But we are living in the real world where we have to make actual choices every single day. So how do we do this? Here's what I am learning, and I'm learning this every single day. So the first one, balance is not equal distribution. It's faithful prioritization. Some days work gets 70% and family gets 30%. Some days it flips. Some weeks everything is split evenly. The goal isn't perfect equal parts. The goal is asking God each day, what needs my attention today? Where do you want me to focus? In Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 says, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Not everything all at the same time. Different things in different times. Now, second, faithful choices require boundaries. You have to protect what matters most. For me, that means no work emails after Bray's bedtime. That means saying no to opportunities that would require too much travel. That means protecting Sunday as family time. Your boundaries might look different, but you need them. Third, balance requires asking for help. Mary needed Martha's help. Martha needed Mary's reminder. Hannah needed Eli's blessing. The Proverbs 31 woman had servants. Nobody does this alone. Ask your husband for help. Ask family. Ask friends. Hire help if you can. This isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Now, fourth, give yourself grace when you get it wrong, because you will. I do all the time. Last week, I missed Bray's event because I mixed up the dates and I felt terrible. But beating myself up doesn't help her. Apologizing, learning, and moving forward does. In Romans chapter 8, verse 1 says, therefore, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. No condemnation. That includes from yourself. And finally, fifth, keep coming back to Jesus. When you feel overwhelmed, sit at his feet like Mary. When you feel burdened, surrender like Hannah. When you feel from between roles, remember the Proverbs 31 woman used all her gifts. And when you don't know what to choose, ask Him. In Proverbs chapter 3, from verse 5 to 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your path straight." He'll guide you one choice at a time, one day at a time, one faithful step at a time. Okay, friends, here's the truth. Perfect balance is a myth, but faithful choices, those are real and possible and enough. You don't have to get everything right. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You just have to keep showing up, keep asking God for wisdom, and keep making the next faithful choice in front of you. Some days, the choice is to work hard. Some days, it's to rest. Some days, it's to play with your kids. And some days, it's to pursue your dreams. Or some days, it's to just survive. And all of those can be faithful choices if you're bringing them to God. All right? So give yourself permission to let go of perfect balance and embrace faithful living instead. Choose presence over perfection. Choose surrender over control. Choose to use your gifts without guilt. Choose to ask for help and choose grace. And trust that God is weaving all these imperfect choices into something beautiful because He is. He is a good God. I'd love to hear from you. What's the hardest choice you're facing right now? What area of balance are you struggling with? Drop it in the comments. Let's encourage each other. If this spoke to you, may I just ask you to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. We're building a community of faith moms who are choosing faithfulness over perfection. And I'm so glad you're here today. So thank you so much for being here. I'm praying for you. And remember, you don't need perfect balance. You just need faithful choices. And God will meet you there. See you soon, and ciao for now.